I want you to fully, wholeheartedly fall in love with yourself. I want you to look at yourself and see that inner light. I want you to feel that spark, and I want you to know that you deserve to be happy, that you deserve to think kindly and lovingly about yourself. You deserve to have an amazing relationship with yourself. And sometimes the world really makes it hard. It makes it really hard to step into this energy of love towards yourself. But I hope that this episode will help you do that. Hello, my sunshine, and welcome to a new episode of the Hot Girl Morning Podcast. I am very excited to have you here. And as you can probably tell, in today's episode, we're going to talk about loving yourself. And I'm going to kind of connect it also to the topic of romanticizing your life and being kind to yourself. And in general, sometimes I had the feeling that self-love feels like this huge, big thing. And sometimes if you're maybe right now not in a state where you're feeling good, it can feel very far away. So we can also talk about self-acceptance, maybe self-respect, self-kindness. And I hope that this episode will help you look at yourself in a little bit of a different way. If you don't know, my name is Greta. I'm an accountability and empowerment coach. And on this podcast, we talk about all things personal growth, mindfulness, self-love, manifesting your dreams, and becoming the best version of yourself. So if any of these topics sound interesting to you, make sure to follow this podcast, rate it 5 stars if you really enjoy it, or maybe send it to a friend who might need to hear this today. Okay, first of all, girly pops, you need to take a deep breath. I want you to know that you're safe, you're loved, and you're protected. And it is okay that whatever emotions are coming up for you today with this episode, maybe you're already at a state where you would say, okay, you're very close to loving yourself, or maybe you love yourself, or maybe you're at a state where you don't feel that at all. Whatever it is okay. You are safe, you're loved, and you're protected. And I want you to take the next couple of minutes for yourself, for your soul, to listen, to kind of reflect, and to maybe rethink a couple of ways how you're showing up for yourself. But before we do any of that, I want to do our little tradition of giving you a sign from the universe. I feel like I haven't done that in a couple of episodes, so it is about that time again. I have this beautiful book, which is called Living with Joy, Keys to Personal Power and Spiritual Transformation from Sanaya Roman. And I'm going to open up this book at a random page and see what message is meant to find you today. What we have on here is a quote from the chapter Changing the Negative into the Positive. There are actually 2 quotes on here. If you wish to be aware of the higher good happening in your own life, be willing to let go of a limited perspective and enlarge your view of your life. Then we have a second quote. Everything that happens is meant to help you move into your greater self. Now that you have reached a new level of being, you may be tempted to look back at the past with regret. You may think of many higher, more loving ways you could have handled some issues and situations. Yet those very incidents provided you with a growth that allows you now to see a better way of behaving. Some lessons may be more painful than others, depending on how willing you are to face them. When I speak of enlarging your scope of vision, I am speaking of being able to step outside of the present and see your life as a whole rather than a series of unconnected events. You're kidding. This book is just genius. I'm going to put it aside. And in general, I just love this book. When we start talking about self-love, I want to share with you a little quote, a little something that I heard in my past, and it kind of made me rethink my relationship with myself. And it goes something like this. If I would ask you to name all the things that you love, how long would it take you to name yourself? I remember the first time where I heard this. And as I was hearing it, I was thinking about all the things that I'm loving. I was thinking of my best friend. I was thinking of nature. I was thinking about all these like random little tiny things. And then I heard the second part of the quote and I was like, that's a good question. My instinct wasn't really to think about myself as something that I loved. Is it even okay to love myself? Isn't it selfish? Isn't it like douchey, arrogant, whatever? Is it okay to love yourself and what is a healthy way to love myself. Because I also don't want to be, entitled or just that type of energy. And then, I don't know, when was it? Probably around when I was 20, 21, maybe 22. So like 5, 6, 7 years ago. That was really the time where self-love was something that I really, really needed to build. And I also came across this concept of thinking, okay, if I would treat my best friend exactly the way I'm treating myself, the way I'm showing up, the way I'm doing things, the way I'm talking to myself, would they still be my best friend? And I very quickly realized, most probably, no. My best friend wouldn't be my best friend if I would talk to them the way I'm talking to myself. And that kind of created this feeling within me, because how can it be that when I'm thinking about my best friend, I get these incredible, loving, beautiful feelings? I feel like this, I would even say, mama bear type of energy of wanting to protect her, of wanting to support her, of wanting to be her number one fan in all situations and be her like just supportive bestie vibes all the way. Why is it when I'm thinking about myself and the conversations that I have in my mind, why is it that then it kind of feels wrong, or just like I don't deserve that type of love? Like my bestie, she deserves that, but I don't deserve it. And kind of all these types of like ways to think and these quotes, and so much of my past made me think at that time of my life. And it really got me to the point where I realized, okay, I need to change something about myself. And again, I feel like self-love sometimes seems like this big, huge thing. And there's also something that I realized back then when I was really, really exercising to learn to love myself. I remember I did all these little habits of, where I started writing down things that I'm proud of for myself, things that I'm grateful for myself. I started to feel gratitude towards my body, towards the way I'm showing up, towards just like in general, trying to get to know myself. But I had this moment where I realized, okay, I love myself. I am doing the things, I'm proud of myself, I love myself. And around that time, I kind of stopped doing the things that got me to the point of loving myself, of stopping to like really overthink the way I'm talking to myself. Like back then, I was really trying to become aware and kind of stop myself whenever like negative thoughts or anything like that would come up. And I realized 2 weeks later or something like that, 2 weeks before, I was at that point of loving myself, but why do I feel like shit right now? Why do I feel like that right now? And I realized loving yourself is like taking a shower. If you only take a shower once a year, we have a big, big problem. You're going to probably be super damn stinky, okay? And the same is with self-love. This is not something that is like end all be all. You reach it and then you love yourself and then you love yourself forever and ever and ever. It is something that you practice. It is a way of showing up. And sometimes the best way to do that for yourself, even if you don't feel it yet, is to change the actions that you're taking, is to really like, number one, one thing that you need to work on is to become aware of how you're treating yourself, of how you're showing up, how the internal conversations are happening. Like that is one thing. But the other is, if you have the feeling, okay, I really want to work on this, is you have to start doing the things, maybe even before you start feeling this love towards yourself. And there is just this part about like romanticizing your life that kind of really supports that in my mind of, I don't know, I feel like it's about also falling in love with the tiny little moments in between, because sometimes we're always waiting for the big things to happen. And maybe it's not even about the big things. Maybe it's about, I don't know, finding a different way how you're showing up for yourself. So one thing that I want you to do, because number one, first of all, we have to become aware of how is your current relationship with yourself. So as you're listening to me right now, I want you just to think about your relationship with yourself right now. I want you to think about, okay, if you think about the way you think about yourself, wait, that was a lot of thinking. What type of energy, what type of feeling comes up? If you really think about the way you're going through your day, how are you talking to yourself? Do you sometimes maybe have a conversation with others and you tend to kind of make yourself small? You're just like, oh no, I'm so sorry. No. I don't want to, I know that, is there any way that you're always making yourself smaller than you need to? Is there a different way you can handle that? Or do you maybe have some reoccurring thoughts of you think, okay, no, I'm not good enough for that. I'm always doing the same thing. I'm just so lazy. I'm just so undisciplined. Why is everyone else is that the type of conversation that you have in your mind? I really want you to think about that. And this is also an exercise that you can do for the next couple of days. I want you to become really aware of the type of thoughts that you have in your mind. Because sometimes we can recognize patterns. We can recognize that the same type of thinking or the same topics are always coming up for you. And especially considering the way you're showing up for yourself and the way you're treating yourself, I really want you to become more aware of that. Because again, awareness is one of the key steps. And one of the little tiny things, it's not that little tiny, that really, really helped me understand how I'm even treating myself is to do this little exercise. And you can do this for basically anything you want. I had a time in my life where I realized, okay, I'm complaining a lot and I don't like to be a person who complains a lot. So I'm not going to do that anymore. And what I did basically is I had a bracelet. You can also do this with a ring or just with whatever. I don't care, honestly. And whenever you notice yourself that you're talking negatively about yourself or that you're complaining or whatever it is that you're currently working on, you take that bracelet from one arm to the next. And basically, this is like a challenge that you can set for yourself. Whenever you become aware of, oh no, I'm realizing there's this thought right now coming up. I'm thinking I'm in some kind of way getting into this negative spiral, or I'm stepping into this overthinking energy, whatever it is, you're going to take that bracelet from one arm to the next. And what you're going to find yourself doing is you're going to spend a whole damn lot putting that bracelet or that ring from one hand to the other. And honestly, you're going to be shocked. And the thing is, you're thinking so much throughout the day. And if such a big part of it is negative, then we have a problem. And then that is something that we need to work on. And one thing that I really like to do is to get to the point where you call out yourself. You need to be able to call out yourself, even though if you're not at the point of loving yourself yet or believing something different, you need to be able to learn to stop yourself and be like, hey, this is not helpful right now. This is not supportive of the person that I want to become. I'm going to stop doing that. Is there any way I can rephrase that? Is there any way I can say that differently? Because words have meaning. The way you're talking, that has meaning. Here's just a tiny little example of when I am writing a to-do list. It is not that I write to-do list and then I just write my things. I write down things I get to do today. Things I would love to do today. It is not things that I have to do today, but things that I get to do today. And I really want you to become more aware of the way that you're speaking towards yourself. One of the key parts that helps you to fall in love with yourself is to do more of the things that bring you joy and that bring you the spark. And obviously, life is sometimes lifing and you have things to do and all these things, but I want you to become more aware of things that you love to do, things that bring you joy. And sometimes it is as simple as becoming aware of it and being like, okay, how can I include more of that joy into my life? How can I bring more of that energy of self-love into my life? And sometimes you can combine it with things that you're doing anyway, but it's a different energy, the way you're approaching your life. It is a different way how you're going about your day, honestly. And it can be as tiny as, okay, you changing the focus in your mind. And when you're in the morning, making your breakfast, you're going to put on freaking amazing music and you just dance around. And that is something that you can do to shift your energy and to look at it in a different way. And honestly, one of the key parts of learning to love yourself is about changing how you're talking to yourself and changing how you're showing up. And as I said before, sometimes it's about the actions that you put into it. I feel like sometimes in relationship context, you can really hear like this thing about actions speak louder than words. So if your partner always tells you all the beautiful, freaking amazing things, but they never do the thing, then we have an issue. But the same also goes with the way you're treating yourself. I love affirmations. I love putting them like into your life. But if you're only doing affirmations, but the rest of the time you treat yourself like shit, then we have a problem. So how can you treat yourself with more love? How can you treat yourself with more love? What are some things that you can include into your day to give yourself that love? And sometimes loving yourself doesn't always mean like to do the easy, quote unquote, not lazy thing, but the kind of not doing the thing that you actually maybe should be doing. So sometimes loving yourself also means pushing yourself. But I want you to really become aware of the way you're doing this for yourself. And again, what is a way you can show yourself some more love? Even maybe think about this week. I would love to see in the comments things that you're doing to like show yourself a bit more love. Because I believe in you. I believe that you have a spark, that you have things that interest you, that you have things that make you feel this beautiful, beautiful, amazing energy. And I think the world needs more of that energy right now, especially right now. We need more of that love energy. And I think it would be a shame if you would hide yourself behind the negative thinking, behind all the limiting beliefs, behind the worrying, the anxiety, behind scrolling on your phone or whatever you're doing that is not supporting you right now. You are meant for a big, beautiful, vibrant life. I don't want you to be like, when you share with me about your life, yeah, my life, yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's not that bad. Like, what do you mean it's not that bad? I don't want you to live a life that is not that bad. I want you to live a life that is freaking amazing, because you deserve to have a freaking amazing life. And part of having a freaking amazing life is learning how to fall in love with yourself. It is about becoming aware of who you are and who you want to become. And it is not this never-ending journey of trying to become better and improve yourself. That's not what I'm talking about at all. It's about stopping to fight yourself. It's like you're showing yourself love. And that's what I always share when we're talking about like goal setting or habits or anything. You're not doing that out of a position of fighting yourself, but you do that for yourself, out of a position of loving yourself. So again, loving yourself. Number one, I want you to become aware of the way you're talking to yourself, the way you're treating yourself. I want you to be able to flip the switch. If you're maybe recognizing right now, okay, I can really tell that this is something that I'm doing and it is not supporting me with who I want to become, then this is something that you need to get doing. And the second part is, okay, how can you really do it? Like, how can you actions speak louder than words type of energy? How can you show yourself love? How can you, I don't know, take 10 minutes within your day where you create the space to just listen within, where you create the space to be present. Even though life is stressful, you will take those 10 freaking minutes for yourself. Or maybe do you really recognize that some sport really helps you? I don't know, for me, it's yoga. Yoga is something that is really centering myself. Or maybe you realize something different for you. You deserve to create that space to do the things that make you fall in love with yourself. And one thing that I love to do when we talk about self-love is solo dates. And I'm going to do that this weekend and I'm so excited about it. But there is something so special when we learn how to be alone and when we learn how to fall in love with our own company. And this is something that I started doing again back in that time where I had that whole topic of self-love in my mind. And it is so powerful. Sometimes scheduling in your calendar and being like, hey, on Friday, I'm going to take 2 hours. And in those 2 hours, I'm going to make a picnic. I'm going to go out into nature. I'm going to bring myself something amazing to eat because maybe, I don't know, I love strawberries. I'm going to take strawberries with me. And then I'm going to just enjoy my time and do some journaling. Like whatever things are that you love, I want you to consciously schedule those things into your freaking day. I want you to schedule them into your day as if you're going to the dentist, as if you're having an appointment. And these are not things that are, yeah, I can maybe do it. Yeah, maybe I have time. No, you set yourself that soul date. Best case scenario, once a week, you have that soul date. And that is a fixed appointment with yourself. This is an appointment where you get to be present, where you get to check in with yourself, where you get to treat yourself with love because you deserve it. Okay, I feel like I have been rambling a lot. And I really, really hope that you got something out of that episode. I want to thank you so much for being here. If you want more content of mine, you can go to my Instagram at greta.webhofer, greta.webhofer. I am not an influencer. I am not a crazy content creator, but every now and then I put out some inspiring things. And maybe you want to listen to me and hear me more. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. And also, if you want to join a free supportive bestie group, I have a WhatsApp group, which is for free. And you can just join. And this is also a way where I can empower and remind you and be like that supportive bestie type of energy. I hope you have a wonderful day and I will talk to you very, very soon. Bye.